Okay, it is March 19th and it is apparently 102 degrees out there. Record-breaking temperatures. This never happens. It is never this hot this early in Phoenix. This is like at least a month early. So I'm in my car with the air conditioning. You can hear my dog panting in the background. We just went to the pet store to make him feel like he went somewhere because there was no walking today. He was gonna boil. So I have very little time today because I have an eye appointment and they're probably going to dilate my eyes and I won't be able to see anything. So I literally have about 20 minutes to do a very quick urban sketch. I'm going to try out this brand new teeny tiny 3x5 Alpha Series Stillman and Birn sketchbook that I've had for a while and I just haven't opened it up yet. So this one is meant for light wash and ink, dry media. So I'm not going to use much water at all. It's going to be mostly pens. We'll see what I think of that. Also, I'm doing black and gray today with pops of color as needed. Okay, I'm out of time. Gotta go. So this is what I have so far. I got most of the lines drawn with a gray micron pen, and then I started to go in with the darkest Pitt pen, brush pen, to get some shadows. But that's all I have time for, so headed out. Okay, so I'm back home, and I didn't end up having my eyes dilated, so I can finish this now. You can see, like, this notebook, how small it is. It's kind of cute. You can stick it in your purse. This is the Alpha Series Stillman and Birn sketchbook. And it is mixed media. It's for dry media, light wash, and ink. It's 3.5 by 5.5 inches, 150 GSM, medium grain surface, a white paper. And you can see like what media it could be used for. So it looks like pencil and pastel and light wash, ink. Yeah, and their paper is not 100% cotton. It's cellulose paper. And so I usually feel like their books are too expensive for what you're getting. But this one happened to be on clearance at my local art store, I think because maybe this size didn't sell well. So that's what gives me an opportunity to try it out. To sketch, I use this darker gray micron. And then I have my gray Pitt pen set, and then I have corresponding colored pencils that go with it. And it comes in cool gray and warm gray. And then I also have these like pink as a pop color. Now, this is as far as I got when I was there. So I was able to get the lines in, and then I started to do the darkest shadows. I'm not even sure which dark gray I used. I was really in a hurry, guys. It kind of looks like I used the warm gray on that, so maybe I'll just stick with that. I'm going to have to do like a little swatch and check. Sure looks like the warm gray though. I bet I picked that one because it was just like the darkest looking one. So yeah, I might just do the whole thing in warm tones. Or is that the cold? That's the cold gray. Oh geez, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little swatch to check it out. That's funny. So I'm just gonna get going on this. The nice thing about it being small is that it should not take forever. Okay, I'm calling that done. That was fun. I like that one. I always love doing these like strip mall urban sketches. And I think it's because it's kind of like low pressure. Like, it's not a remarkably pretty thing, you know? So there's not this like, oh my God, I have to capture the beauty or I'm going to ruin it thing. And then it's kind of fun too to take something that seems kind of ordinary and try to make it like interesting or pretty, you know? That's kind of a fun thing to do. So I tried to use colored pencil, both in the places that I wanted more texture, but also in places where I just didn't feel like I had the right, like, value of pen. Since I was only using 3 pens, you know, you kind of run out. I like how the cars turned out. I especially like that red car. It's like a maroon in real life, but I thought the pink pen was cool on it and kind of it had a cool texture when I was done. I love the tree, of course, right? And this other tree behind it with like the vine going around is pretty cool too. I had fun with these little bushes. It was entertaining to do the window reflections, or at least attempt to approximate them with very little time. Yeah, it was all just fun, actually. I do really like working with this size when I have this limited time like this, though. This is kind of the perfect size to get like a cool drawing, but not spend like 4 hours on it, you know? Like you can do it in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, you saw that like I had most of the outline sketch almost completely done when I left, and I was able to also even start doing shadows before I left, and I did that in like 25 minutes. Not bad at all. Now I have a goal to try and paint in the morning tomorrow because it is supposed to be really hot again. We'll see. All right. I'm at another local park. This one is farther east, closer to the Superstitions. Found a cool spot here. I think I might paint my shadow into it because that's kind of fun, right? All right, so I've got my B sketchbook, and I've got my Stablo easel set up. I've brought a specific palette of Daniel Smith colors. I'll talk about that when I get back. I got some travel brushes. Obviously, you can tell I'm low on time. The sun is going down, see? I brought this new table that I got that I love. I'll talk about that later. Would recommend. Got my little REI camping stool if I need to sit. So I'm gonna get going. Okay, I'm at that point where I'm like waiting around for paint to dry. Always the fun of watercolor. So it's looking pretty, isn't it? It's been through many stages. So the mountain is following kind of an earlier stage. All of it is kind of following an early stage when it was all lit up with a glow. But it's still cool. I gotta get that big dead tree in there. But I'm going to wait till things are drier to do that because I'm going to need to have my bravery test right there. Yeah, I think it's that was fun. This is good paper for that kind of watercolor sketching. It is very, very, very forgiving paper. So it's pretty much impossible to make things like backgrounds on this paper, I've noticed. Like if you like texture and like cool effects, you're probably not going to get it on here. But if you just want things to like look pretty darn decent and for it to forgive you for not making the most perfect marks right away, it does that. Turn around and look at the sunset the other way. It's like I'm on the Serengeti. It's like the camera is not even picking it up. It's like this deep, dark, like nectarine orange. It's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna call this done for now. I think I'm probably gonna leave it alone when I get home, although you never know, I might see a little something, or at least sign it. So that's really cool. There was this bird that was like talking to me. It landed on top of that branch. It was so cool. I didn't have room to put him in there, but I was cracking up about it. Okay, I'm back home, and I've had, this has had like a few hours to dry. One thing I will point out is that I actually turned this one into a block as well. I found that this paper had a tendency to buckle big time. I'm not sure what that was about, but it was annoying. So I went ahead and glued the 3 sides down. I think I might have left like a little bit, maybe like right here so I could peel it up. Used PVA glue. I used whichever archival PVA glue I happened to have at the time. It wasn't anything particular, but that definitely made this more workable. I would recommend it. So Now that this is dried, I have a chance to kind of like see what I would like to modify. There's a couple things going on here. So, I would like to just fix this right here. It's kind of undefined what's going on. So I was going to kind of try and lift a little bit more out of there on this branch. And the same on this one, make them just a little bit more defined. And there are a couple places in here too that there might be, like this area in here, they had all these little like white tufts on them. Not sure, is that a creosote bush? I think it's a creosote bush. And I was going to try and go in and just make this look a little bit more like that bush. I might use like, I don't have like a white, well, I have a gouache. I don't know. I was thinking I might just use like my titanium buff actually and make like little white dots on there. I don't want them to be like too prominent. I just want something. So, and I might kind of smooth a couple of these things out maybe just a bit. Like make this look like a more cohesive bush. There's just a couple places in here that like could use just a little bit of cleaning up. Not a lot though. It's not bad. Yeah, so like I said, I feel like this is like really forgiving paper. It's kind of interesting. But sometimes it's overly forgiving. Like sometimes if you're trying to create any kind of hard edges or texture, it sure makes it hard to do. Like you notice everything just looks smooth. Even the stuff that like this green kind of granulates a lot and it's really not granulating. Even like the sky appears kind of the same way. Like that manganese blue hue has a tendency to granulate. It just doesn't really on this paper. It's weird. So now the color palette that I used, this is a triad of colors that Daniel Smith has sold for a while. I think it's called like their secondary color set or something of that sort. I don't know. It's quinacridone burnt orange, carbazole violet, and then the last one is the undersea green. And these three work really nicely for desert colors, I've found personally. And then I've got the manganese blue hue for the sky. And then I have New Gamboge. And then I also have the Bordeaux color. And I actually didn't end up using it in this situation. But if there had been, if I had been facing the other way and looking at the sunset instead of looking away from the sunset, I might have needed it. So I found that these colors together kind of worked really well. Like that New Gamboge really came up a lot in the scenery. There was a lot of like golden tones coming when the sun was going down, but also the plants themselves, the blooms that were out there were like a yellowish gold color. So I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of finishing. I might also just add a little bit of blue in these spots in here because they were in the shadow. So we'll see how that works. Okay, I'm considering that done. That was fun. That all turned out better than I thought it would, because honestly, it was 105 out there today. I really didn't think I thought I was gonna be painting from the car. I came well prepared. I brought like my Yeti cup that had like a ton of ice and coffee in it, and then I had a Gatorade with me. I actually had 2 Gatorades with me in case I needed more. I had a water bottle. I had one of those golf towels that gets all wet and like has evaporative cooling. I had my hat. So I was like well prepared. And the sun was going down. It wasn't overhead anymore, which makes a big difference really when it's not like beating down on your skin in the same way. So yeah, I think that was actually a fun painting experience. You know, I didn't get too many bugs till the very end, and I found an area to paint where I wasn't really like, a lot of people weren't coming up or anything like that. So it was pretty cool. I'm going to do a little zoom in here. Yeah, so you can kind of see. I think it looks pretty awesome. So I like how the sky turned out. It's very subtle. It's there, but it's just very, very light. Not a whole lot happening. And that makes sense because the sunset was to my back. And then that's that creosote bush in front. And I did kind of some negative painting there. And I thought that was kind of fun and cool. And it kind of draws your eye in an interesting way. And then I liked this dead tree that was here. I thought that was fun. And this is was that an acacia? I think that right there is an acacia. See a lot of those around. And then there's this little yellow invasive plant that has like these yellow pollen balls. I can't remember what it's called right now. It's from like South Africa, and they've been trying to get rid of it, but they're not really successfully getting rid of it. So there was a lot of yellow happening in the desert today. Some of it was from that plant. So this was one of those right here. This was a creosote bush. Those are native, and they were blooming. And then also the palo verdes were blooming with their yellow tufts of pollen too. So there was just a lot of yellow happening, which was kind of fun because we haven't had like a lot of flowers. And then the mountains up here, I really like enjoyed how those turned out. I did them very minimally, and I think it worked really well with the colors I had. They were many colors while I was there. So this is what they looked like when I first got there. And then later when the sun went down, they kind of glowed this pinky color. And that was really cool too, but I had already done this, and so I left it. So I could go back another time and maybe try that pink version. I did something, I kind of did that time of day when I did the oil sticks last year from this same park. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. Those colors I chose worked well, and I was able to mix some of them together to kind of create those browns, and I put like a little bit of blue down in this kind of shadowed dirt area so that wasn't sticking out, and it made more sense. And I did try to add the titanium buff in here, but it didn't really work. So I decided to just leave it alone. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. So, if you heard that, those are coyotes. They are not very far away. I'm in the Superstitions. I'm at one of the little pull-offs near one of the main trailheads down here. And that was a surprise. I heard a shriek at first, and I thought like, oh, there are some, teenagers or whatever over there. And then it continued, and I was like, nope, those are coyotes. They may sound closer because of like, acoustics. I don't know. But yeah, that was interesting. So anyway, I have parked, and I'm going to walk up, find a spot not too far from the car because I did not feel like hiking with all that stuff, to get a sketch. And I'm going to work in sepia ink today because I feel like that goes with this landscape very nicely. So this is actually the same mountain I was painting yesterday, but from a different angle and much closer. I don't know if you can see it, but the coyotes are making their way over. I can see them. I saw one, and then I saw another. Don't know if the camera captured it, but all right. So this is my vantage point up here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, not bad. So, I told you guys, I'd tell you about my table yesterday, and then of course I forgot. So let's talk about the table. So, it's like a little camping table. It's got 2 drink holders, which is great, because who's not bringing a bunch of drinks for something like this, right? It is really light. I'll put the weight up on the screen. That's my favorite part about it. The top part rolls up, and the bottom part is all one piece that folds together and then rolls up. And I've got my little camping stool, and I brought my tripod. So I'm ready to go. The wind is very intense right now. Not really surprising for this area. It's kind of like always windy. It's kicking up my allergies like crazy. I'm a sniffle queen right now. So I've got my diffuser up there. We'll see how well that holds. I only brought 4 clips. I don't know what was wrong with me. So I'm going to do a very brief pencil sketch just to outline the shape of the mountain that I want, really. And then I'm going to get going sketching it with sepia pen. I'm going to take some pictures right now because the lighting is nice. And yeah. So I had to move my easel so I could get a better view of this tree in front of the mountain. I'm going. I think everybody always leaves too early. Look at that. Shh, so pretty. It's cool. So this is what I have so far. I'm getting there. I mean, I am obviously going to be doing a lot of this at home, but I'm going to try and do some here. All right, I'm going to go. This is what I've got so far. I'm going to have to finish it at home. I still have to pack up my stuff, and I obviously don't want to get stuck out here in the dark. Not a great plan, so that was fun. All right, I'm home, so let's finish this. So this ink is really reflective, so I just kind of mess with the lighting a lot. So right now I don't even have the light on overhead. I just have the ambient room light. And I'm just sitting here trying to judge it, and you probably were like cracking up watching me just cover up everything. But there was too much contrast. It was bothering me. There's too much like white. It didn't look cohesive. It was weird. I feel like, funny enough, the lines in this create so much interest and definition that also having like a big extreme swing between light and dark was just like way too much. It was just crazy pants, and I couldn't figure out where to look. So, funny enough, this kind of directs your eye right to that mountain. Like everything else is here, but it's kind of... It's funny. I was trying to make the mountain more background and the tree more foreground, and it just wasn't working. Really, is what happened there. It's kind of funny. But now you really do look straight back to that mountain, and you have questions about it, and I guess that's what we're supposed to do. So, it's a very mysterious mountain, I tell you. But this is the point where you go and you take a walk. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do some stretches and have a snack and come back and make a final assessment. But I think I'm going to call it done for now. All right, I sprayed the back of that, flattened it down. And I will call that done now. I like that. So I did the walkaway, and that was good. There were a couple things I went and corrected. Just like a couple of things in the shadows of the mountain. There were like funny shapes that were bothering me. This thing was complicated. I like the energy of it. I was thinking about how the ideas I had for this kept changing over and over again. The focal point I wanted kept changing over and over again. Even when I was out there, the ideas of how I was going to, like, where this tree was going to go, where I was going to stand relative to the mountain kept changing. So, you know, normally I like to really, like, plan things out, and I try all sorts of different compositions, and I really, like, get everything just right before I start. And so this is always an interesting challenge when I can't do that, and I have to just go. Just build that plane as you fly it. Just do it. So it's a brain exercise for sure.